What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Turnpike Titans podcast. I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Jarrett and Vin. We got a lot to dive into today. This is a much more interesting show than I had expected it to be when I woke up this morning. But before we dive into the biggest news of the last 5 years of this football team, we'll get into the debacle that we witnessed on Sunday. A lot of us saw it coming. A lot of us on this podcast saw it coming. And a lot of nightmares became reality. But as always, I'll turn it over to two of you. Jarrett, why don't you kick us off on what your instant reactions were to the blowout loss in Philadelphia?
Instant reaction is, there was no surprise. I mean, I predicted it was somewhat to be a 28-17, win by them, but didn't turn out to be that well. The offense continues to struggle, and we all know that. I still don't understand how the OC has a job versus the GM getting fired, but we're going to get into that one.
Yeah.
I thought the defense would come to play a little bit more. Clearly, it misses not it, but Jeff Simmons misses Autry with his injury, and I still don't think Jeff Simmons is healthy fully because we've gotten 3 sacks in the last 3 games, I believe, and I just really thought the defense was going to hold it together and hold them to at least maybe 24 points to keep us in the game. But with the offensive struggles continuing, it's very hard to see this team go forward and to win games, even to score points in this matter. Because if Burks didn't catch that ball, and I think it was nerves because he totally went limb. If he didn't caught that ball, where are we getting points from?
Nowhere.
It was 3 points. Mm-hmm. So again, we still can't move the ball. I mean, Tannehill was, a little efficient, but these receivers can't get separation. There's no clear threat again, and that was one of the reasons that broke the camel's back for Jon Robinson after seeing A.J. Brown go for 8 and 120 and 2 touchdowns, because there is no
clear. 3 actually, just one guy called back.
There's no clear cut threat on this offense besides Derrick Henry, and it's actually showed. So Vin, how was it sitting up in section 211 in Philadelphia?
It was beautiful seats, about the 35-yard line. I like being high up when I go to a football game. You see everything develop. Great seats, good time with my girlfriend's father, her 2 brothers. Not as hostile as it would have been if it was obviously a Cowboys or Giants game, or even an NFC team. The Titans are there once every 8 years. They only play each other once every 4 years. Not as hostile as I thought it might be. I've been to every Titans game in Philly since about 20 years ago. I was there when McNabb tore his ACL. I went 8 years later when Zach Mettenberger was our quarterback and Josh Huff returned the opening kick, and they destroyed us. And this was my 3rd time seeing the Titans in Philly.
Wait a sec. Time out. I got to cut you off for a second, Vin, because I got to process what you just said. So you went to the game in Philly that
McNabb tore his ACL out.
Oh, McNabb. I thought you said McNair.
No, McNabb.
Okay, I was going to say, if you went to McNair's ACL game, a blowout, and you still went to this fucking one, you're going to have some big problems. But anyway, I apologize for cutting you off.
No, that's all right. Yeah, McNabb was rolling out of the pocket and was going out of bounds, and our boy Vandenbosch gave him a little tap.
The red-eyed monster.
I remember vividly. And we won that game. 8 years later, we got destroyed. 8 years later, we got destroyed again. So the game, a lot of fun, a lot of booze, a lot of ball breaking. So it's always a good time. But you could just sense the first drive. I mean, they went right down the field on us, scored rather easily, and you kind of felt right then and there it was going to be a long day. I agree with Jared. I thought we'd get a little more out of the defense. But the same excuse I kind of gave the offense last year with no continuity is kind of not the excuse I'm giving them now, but you're just rolling players in and out of the lineup. Fulton's been in and out. Molden just got back. Simmons is hurt. Dupree's in and out. Autry's out. So you're just having guys who haven't played with each other, who are starting to feel the effects of having to carry the team for the whole season. They're starting to, the saying is bend, don't break. Unfortunately, I think we're starting to break, and it's at the wrong time because our offense is as stagnant as could be. Tannehill only used his feet because he fucking had to. He made a nice couple plays where he picked up first downs, but it's because he was running for his life. It's funny because aside from Titans fans, not really people know who fucking Dennis Daly is or Staley or whatever his name is. So a few plays, I just watched him, not the whole play. I just wanted to see how he was doing. And he legitimately got turned around on one play and was facing Corey Brewer. So it's sad to see. It's unfortunate. Henry, I'm not really putting any of this on him. I'm really not. We seem deflated, and he's amazing, but he's also human.
And a lot, and sorry to cut you off, but a lot of Titan fans, stupid Titan fans, are blaming Derrick Henry.
No,
when he's getting hit on his second fucking step in the backfield.
Not. I don't care how fucking big or fast you are. These fucking defensive linemen and linebackers are just as big, if not bigger, and they're hitting him first, and they're pushing him back. And the guy's got fucking how many couple hundred, over 200 carries at this point in the season, probably close to 250, 260. I don't know the exact number. If one of you wanted to look it up real quick, but I mean, the guy's feeling the effects of it. So, and we're not helping him out in any which way. And the one bright spot on the receiving core, our rookie, who thankfully seems like he's going to be a player, got knocked out after he scored a touchdown. So, I stayed most of the game just because I don't see them. I only see them maybe once a year, every other
258.
Year. 258 he's at this year.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, the guy's starting to fucking feel it. So I don't want to hear any fucking Henry slander ever from us three, especially, but people in general who are just not appreciative. I know Sal will give it to anyone at any time, which is why we love him, but it's hard to blame this fucking guy. You're just nitpicking in my opinion if you go after Henry at this point. But with that being said, we'll let you tear into everyone, Sal. You've been waiting on this moment. So
no, I've had plenty of moments already on Twitter today, and I'm not going to go too crazy. I will say this: Derrick Henry doesn't look like he's running as motivated. That's how I'll put it as lightly as that.
He's not running as motivated, but the stats don't lie. He is the most hit running back before he hits the line of scrimmage.
No, I understand that.
And he's still second in the league in rushing.
Exactly.
I understand that, but from what I've seen, from games like both Colt games, the Raider game, it was night and day to me compared to what I'm seeing this past Sunday. Now, I know the blocking is not good. I'm not going to defend the blockers at all. They're atrocious. They're as bad as it can be. But I do see a difference in his burst off the line of scrimmage. Now, whether he's getting met by a defender or not, I don't see the same cuts he's making. And I don't see him lowering his shoulder as much. But I'm not putting hardly any blame on him, because when you have guys like Dylan Raydunes, Aaron Brewer, and Dennis Daly in front of you, you need to become unhuman in order to produce. And we can't expect that of him day in, day out, week in and week out. So I'm not putting any blame on Derrick Henry. I'm just pointing out that in my opinion, it doesn't seem like he's running as motivated as I've seen him before Kansas City. So, whatever the case may be, it shouldn't have to be that way. He should be able to run unmotivated and still get 100 yards a game because of how talented he is, but we have no blockers. So moving on from that, listen, the play calling is I don't know how many fucking times I got to say it. I mean, you watch this play calling. It's a 3rd and 7, and we're throwing slant routes to the sideline for 3-4 yards.
Yep.
Okay. It's to say embarrassing is just how many fucking weeks do we have to say the same thing? Now, something happened today that we're going to touch on. It's a step in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But 3rd and 14, and you're down 11 points, and you're going to call a fucking draw play and punt it when you're on your own 15. I mean, it's just like, I don't know how many times I got to say it. I'm embarrassed to continue this topic every single week, but I have to. And I feel like, in my mind, I spoke some things into existence on Twitter and on here, whatever the case may be. So this is just going to be another thing I try to hammer home until something happens. And this is just a perfect example of a reason to this atrocity by Todd Downing once again. Defense is regressing. I mean, no one can dispute that. Corners don't look good. McCreary's not looking good. Fulton's not looking good. Now, I think he's hurt. He might have been hurt before the game. I don't know. I don't care. Defense looks like shit. Looks like absolute shit.
Aren't that?
No, Yeah, no, just no pressure at all. Guys like Edwards that I thought were going to be huge for us coming in when necessary. He doesn't look as good. Simmons isn't getting any penetration. Weaver is a fucking shell of himself from the first couple weeks of the season, 3 or 4 weeks. It's bad. It's bad all around. The sky is falling. I think this is partially why the news that came today, because it looks like the sky is falling on this football team. So we're going to get into that and the positivity that comes with that news. But, beyond that, it's just disgusting the way this team is imploding in on itself. And you could tell that Mike Vrabel, he doesn't know what to say. Like, there's nothing for him to say. He can only get so much out of these players before talent catches up to us. And, injuries and talent are catching up to us, especially on offense. And that's the bottom line. So, as we always do, we'll go into the quarterback play by Ryan Tannehill. I think it's a pretty cut and dry kind of grading, maybe give or take 1 or 2 left or right. But Vin, let's start us off with you. What would you grade Ryan Tannehill's performance? You were sitting right there looking at him.
I'm going to give the guy. I'm consistent with him. I'm going to give him a B. He gave me a solid performance. Used his legs when he had to pick up some first downs. I mean, the guy's got absolutely no fucking time to throw, and the same reason why it's hard to be mad at Henry. It's almost just as hard to be mad at Tannehill, because when your receiving core is made up of goodwill, and make a wish, fucking players. It's Westbrook Akina and fucking Robert Woods, and it's just it's laughable. Cody Hollister, who I hope he gets rest, because we actually might need him down the stretch. But
yeah,
I know it's fucking sad, So I'm gonna give him a B. Listen, his supporting cast is a joke. His line is a joke. He got fucking slammed in the third quarter.
Yep.
And I said, they got to take this kid out, because we better hope we clinch a division a week or 2 before the season ends, so we can literally let everyone and their fucking mother rest for a week or so, because I think
we should do it
you
now.
guys have alluded to it before. Simmons is banged up. Fulton's banged up. We need to be able, our only shot to make maybe a run is to be at full health and, win a couple games by the playoffs. Because other than that, we're going to get fucking thrashed by Miami. We're going to get thrashed by Cincinnati if we have to play them.
The Jets.
The Jets. I give us a better, just because their lack of experience in the playoffs right now. We have Mike Vrabel, and they got fucking Robert Saleh. So
yeah, and that whole team is fucking feeding off of him. Listen,
they're forming an identity similar to what we have formed over the last 4 or 5 years. Run game and a solid defense. I give us a better chance against them than I do either Miami or Cincinnati or even fucking LA if they get in there. They got a fucking potent offense. They can move the ball up and down the field. So
we're gonna see
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but our only chance to make a run is what I'm getting at, is to be healthy and to have won a few games to, pick up some fucking juice along the way, because like you said, it looks like the sky is falling. I think, honestly, we played so above our heads for that stretch where we won 5 or 6 in a row, because we have Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry. We played above our heads for a little bit, and now we've come back down to earth, and we're feeling it every which way, to the point where, we let go of our GM today. So anyways, I went on a tangent, but Tannehill gets a B for me. We're going to need him, and, until things change personnel wise, it's hard to think he'll be able to perform any better. So Jared, what do you give Mr. Tannehill?
Before I get into Tannehill, just so you just went on a tangent with the playoffs and all these other stuff. And if we get healthy, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I just want to say and put this on record that, I am a crazy fan, just like you guys, and you'll never hear this again from me, but I really think this is the fakest 7-5 team in the league. And we're the only
you don't
reason,
have to think.
the only reason why we're 7-5. The only reason why we're 7-5 is because we had a shit, schedule in the beginning, and Mike Vrabel has kept his head above water for the sole purpose of how bad Jon Robinson has ruined this team. And we will get there eventually. But getting into Ryan Tannehill now, 14 of 22, 141. He had 30. He was the leading rusher, for Christ's sakes, with 34 yards. The guy did whatever he had to do. I'm going with Vin with this, a solid B. I mean, the throw to Burks in the end zone was a dart. I mean, he laid him out there to dry a little bit, but it was a terrible hit by the safety. But, the guy has shit to throw to. I mean, we say it every week. We've been saying it for the latter past of, a year and a half now with Todd Downing. Two offensive coordinators. The one offensive coordinator he had in Arthur Smith, he was leading the league in passer rating, touchdowns. He almost damn near threw 4,000 yards, and now he has 2,000 yards. He can't get over even 15 touchdowns. So Tannehill has not been the problem for the struggles on offense. It goes down to production and the lack of skill players we have.
Yeah, no, I hit the nail on the head. Listen, I'm not blaming Ryan Tannehill anymore for any of this. I mean, exactly. That's the reaction.
And you'll do it.
Listen, I get it. That's how you know. For me to say this, one of his biggest critics, it's bad. It's bad. I mean, for fuck's sake, this guy's running for his life on every play. And you know who he's running to? Nick Westbrook-Akina and fucking Cody Hollister, a.k.a. Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, what do we expect this guy to do? You could have a perfect quarterback body, Michael Vick's legs, Patrick Mahomes' arms, Josh Allen's size, everything in between. They're not doing shit when you have guys that shouldn't even be on an NFL roster to throw to. It's never gonna. That's just not how that works. And we see a guy finally that can get some separation in Burks, and what happens? Those fucking scumbags down there, no offense, Vin. He catches the ball and they just decide to go fucking headhunting, and they took him out of the game. And no, honestly, they could have maybe made some noise if he was still in the game. Who knows? It was a game until the third quarter.
Yeah.
So
it was 7-7 then.
Yeah. It's just I'm not blaming 17 anymore. My grade for him is a B. He made a couple runs when necessary and whatever the case may be, but my days of criticizing Tannehill, outside the playoff game, which none of us should ever let go. And then the one before that, and the one before that, to be completely honest, because he was fucking ghost really his whole career in Tennessee in the playoffs. But anyway, I digress. I'm not gonna fry him much more. So let's just dive right into the biggest news the Titans have had. I can't tell you since maybe the benching of Mariota, maybe, and I think this tops that. Jon Robinson is no longer the general manager of the Tennessee Titans. Right now, some guy whose name I forget is the interim guy. He was like J. Rob's fucking coffee getter. I don't know who he is, but he's going to be the one taking over for now. I don't foresee him really having any real control. I think it's going to be Vrabel's decisions from here on out, and then we'll see what happens in the offseason. But what are your guys' initial reactions? I'll let both of you go first, as always. Jarrett.
Listen, I just want to say thank you to Jon Robinson for what he has done for this team, because he has turned this franchise around. He's made some huge acquisitions, and he had some huge misses in recent drafts and even free agency. Before Jon Robinson came here, we were 41 and 71, I believe. And with him, we're going to have 5 playoff appearances coming into this year. And
no losing seasons.
And we're going to have 3 division titles back to back to back. And he went 66 and 43. But the thing is consistency and trying to build something like Amy said today. The mediocrity is no more for this team, which I love. And the swing and misses with Kevin Dodd and Isaiah Wilson and Caleb Farley and Ray Dunes and all these other guys. Even the guys on the roster right now that, with the cap, these all guys are hurt. We have no cap space, and he is the one responsible for all this, the roster building, Dennis Daly, all this other stuff. So from going from the top scoring offense in the league to the bottom, it all starts with roster building. It's all on him. So this was the writing on the wall for him, and especially after Sunday, after the AJ trade. And the fans flipping the bird to the box, our owner's box at the stadium. You know, AJ going off was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back with him. And there was that relationship has been not prepared, whatever it is, beyond prepared, because she wanted to give Rabel the keys a long time ago. And what you said with this guy Ryan, whoever's taking over, Ryan Cowden, I see him as going to be the GM going forward, but it's going to be like a Parcells and Belichick deal where Vrabel has all hands on deck and it's all his decisions from here on out going forward.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I want to echo a few of Jared's sentiments there. Definitely have to say thanks to the guy because we were the jokes of the league for a while. I mean, there were some dark times in there. I mean, after, you know, that first generation of Titans went, we were bad besides the 1 year we went 13-3 with Kerry Collins randomly. You know, Miss Amy hired him. He hired Vrabel, and you know, we've changed the identity of our team, which is what you have to be thankful for. And I can always appreciate a guy who I think has balls. And regardless of what we want to say about him, the guy had balls, was never afraid to make a move. And that even that's in regards to the AJ thing, it's a bold move, and guess what? It didn't work out. But he went after Julio and we got him. It didn't work out. He made signings in free agency when we needed them. Some worked out, some didn't. But the guy was never afraid to make a move. And I truly believe without him in that era of Titans, of, you know, him, Mariota, those are guys that, you know, helped change the culture and made us relevant. So that being said, it's okay to thank him and move on, to move on at the same time. Buck Reesing had hit the nail on the head today and tweeted, Jon Robinson got the Titans to a point, then failed to sustain. Moving on from him is the correct decision. You can be grateful for his work here and also be ready to move on, which I think is the perfect way to put it. Because, listen, we could have won a title the last few years, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without him. But the recent, you know, failures have been too much to overcome. And AJ was the straw that broke the camel's back, and his performance was the one that, you know, snapped that one piece of straw in half on Sunday. I do think Vrabel will be maybe not the official GM going forward, but I think a lot of power going forward. I don't think we're going to want to hire a known GM who's been in the league, who wants to put his print on the team. Mike Vrabel's print is the one who matters most, I think, in our eyes, Miss Amy's eyes. So we might give some guy a title, but it's going to be Vrabel who makes the decisions going forward. I almost think it probably was a Vrabel or Jon Robinson situation, and Miss Amy, I think, and I know you guys think, chose correctly. And going forward, I think for the next few years at least, we're going to see what all of Vrabel's decisions can do for us, because I think he's going to have the power going forward. But you got to say thanks to the guy, because he made us relevant. We were a fucking joke. We were the Browns. We were the Jets. We were the Lions. We were just as fucking bad as them. And he made that trade with the Rams, and which led us to getting Derrick Henry, which led us to our identity change. So, you know, got to thank him for that, but it's okay to want to move on as well. And he will get a job elsewhere. Who knows if he'll take a year off and wait on a job that he might want, but he definitely will get another job. But I'm excited to go forward. I think this will light a fire, like Sal said in his video earlier, under our team's ass and give us some juice. And it's what we needed at the moment more than anything else, is a little maybe kicking the fucking ass. So
yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
So Salvatore, if there's anything else left to say, have at it.
No, I mean, listen, I said a lot on Twitter. I put a video up, and luckily I'm grateful that a lot of people agreed with what I had to say. So I'm not going to sound like too much of a broken record here, but bottom line is, if you're confused as to why this happened today, you just got to look at a couple things. First of all, you look at the depth this team's had over the past couple of years. It's been atrocious from top to bottom on both sides of the football. You look at who he's allowed to continue to call plays, whether that be Todd Downing. Well, that's really where it starts and ends right there. He's been the biggest culprit of why this team's had no success. So he allowed that to continue to happen. You look at his draft record, first round draft record, is nothing to write home about. Yeah, he's had some good picks, but if you're asking me as far as his draft, what his draft class has been as a whole, it's been basically breaking even, and that's not going to win you any titles breaking even.
I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah, no, I mean, most of his hits have been third round and on. So I mean, that says more about the fact that he's getting lucky on some of his coin flip picks. But you look at that, and then you look at the biggest thing, and I think this had such a huge bearing on what happened today. Whether Amy Adams had any idea about the AJ Brown trade or not, the bottom line is the whole organization knows that it was an epic, epic, epic mistake.
Biggest mistake in franchise history.
And then for it to happen a few days removed from his welcome home, I think it says it all right there.
Absolutely.
And then I said this earlier as well. There's a video of Jon Robinson and AJ Brown hugging, dapping up. He gave him the old pop slap on the lower gut. I think that might have rubbed her the wrong way. I really do. I mean, my dad is under the impression that this was probably brewing for a while.
I think so too.
Which could have very well been the case, but it could have been brewing for a while to happen at the end of the year, considering this is a first place team in the AFC South and going to get a home playoff game and very injured. Or it could have been something that somebody was fed up, and that somebody was a female who owns the team. So who knows? It's anyone's guess, but the bottom line is he's gone. This team needs a new identity, and it's going to start with the general manager. Who that guy is going to be moving forward is anyone's guess, but I'm excited. This is the start of the rest of our franchise's history starting tomorrow. So I'm excited to see what's to come. Whoever is going to be in charge, to see what kind of moves they're going to make. We got to find anyone that can play fucking left tackle better than the guy this guy brought in. They were epic disasters on all levels. Hopefully, Cowden, whatever the fuck, however to pronounce his name, he might be have a better eye for talent than Jon Robinson, but we'll see. There's a lot to be desired as far as the needs of this football team, and we're gonna have a new face to put some more things in place. So that's about it as far as that's concerned, in my opinion. It's good riddance. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for getting us out of the gutter, but also good riddance because you ruined our chances of winning a title, in my opinion, with the moves that you made at the top of the charts when it comes to, position players and coaching and whatever the fuck else. So moving on to the Jacksonville matchup we have coming up. Must win because those Jags are lingering around, even though they got decimated by Detroit. What do we think about that game? Score predictions, fellas. Jarrett.
Like I said, it's a must-win game. Score predictions. I'm definitely gonna go. Maybe I want to go above 20, but I don't know if we're gonna do it. But I think I'm gonna do it anyway. Even though you guys say I should pick them to lose, I think we're gonna win 23-13 this week.
Vin?
Yeah, well, obviously Stevie Wonder could see this as a fucking must-win.
Yeah.
Although if you want to look into a good conspiracy theory, Stevie Wonder is not blind. But anyways, I digress. No, it's a must-win. Who knows if Lawrence is going to play or not? Even if he does, there's no excuse to lose this game. Do we make any game easy? No. But I do think historically we've handled this team, especially the last few years. We know what's at stake. We probably have a little bit of fire under our ass after what happened today. So I'm going to say we win this game 24-14.
24-14. I think that's incredibly realistic. That's bearing Traylon Burks comes back. Because without him, I don't know where it's coming from. Don't forget, Jacksonville's defense, even though they shit the bed last week, certainly one to respect. So the blueprints there how to beat this team. Stack the box, make them throw to nobody, and that's how you win. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully our first round star in the making is available to play and nobody takes any more cheap shots at his head. My score prediction is going to be 24-21. Tennessee, right? So 3 touchdowns. That's obviously our limit as it stands right now. As long as this drunk piece of shit has a headset on, 3 touchdowns is like the maximum we can score. So 20, 24, 21 with a field goal mixed in there. And that's it. I mean, since we have a new GM, I don't know, maybe they would tell Downing, listen, you got to shake shit up or you're fucking done. Hopefully that happens. Because we'll know pretty quickly if this offense is going to be continuously stagnant or they're going to try to make something different. If they're going to try to change their identity, that firing a GM would make you assume they were going to try to do, then we'll find out on Sunday if that's what their plan is. But 24-21, and let's see what happens. We got a new face of the team, and we got a lot to look forward to, hopefully, and it's gonna all start on Sunday. So, is there anything else the two of you want to add before we close out for the night?
No, I just hope this team has a spark on their ass now, and everyone's held accountable. Obviously, at the highest standard, what she just did, firing the GM. So hopefully, going forward for the rest of this year, everyone's held accountable.
That's it, Vincent.
That's it for me. Must win Sunday. God help us if, God forbid, it doesn't go our way, because if we thought the sky was falling now, it's going to push us all the way down to the deepest depths of the fucking abyss of the underworld if it doesn't work out this week. So let's just fucking please turn it around, get a win, especially against a team you're supposed to beat, who's, quarterback might not even be playing. So
that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, didn't look good, and they don't have much to gain at this point. So I think they'd be wise to at least rest him a week or so if they even want to bring him back at all. But Dougie P doesn't really care. He's kind of all in at all times. So we'll see, though. Definitely got to win the game, but that's it from me.
Yeah, last thing to think about, just for the sake of discussion, if Tennessee does lose to the Jags, is that the final nail in the coffin to get Downing out?
Should have been done already.
Yeah, I thought it was coming today,
So, I mean, I guess we can call this a win-win, right? Actually, if that is the case, then I would fucking want them to get blown out. Really. If that's what would do it, get blown out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Get blown out. I mean, the game is only going to matter if we drop 2 to Jacksonville and then lose to the Cowboys and, the Chargers. If we go 1-4 for the rest of the year, that's the only way this team's not getting a home field playoff game. So if getting blown out against Jacksonville gets this piece of fucking dog shit off of our team, then get blown out. But otherwise, make a change to the offense or get rid of them. Stop being content with this garbage, uncreative bullshit. And that's all I got to say to that. But we will
put him in the bathroom. Put Downing in the bathroom
and throw away the key. Throw away the fucking key. But that's it. We're going to wrap up. As always, as I always do every week, I forget to say this shit in the beginning, but I'm going to say it now. If you were kind enough to watch to the end, make sure you like, subscribe, share, let all your friends know. We got some things in the works we're going to be talking about soon, most likely. So stay tuned. And that's it. As always, tighten up.
Tighten up.
Good riddance, Mr. Robinson.